We speak here at Expo 2020 in Dubai, as I mentioned, bringing the whole world together in the wake of the pandemic. What are your aspirations for the Jamaica Pavilion here at the show?
Well, for one, we're bringing the very infectious Jamaican culture into this space. If you notice what our pavilion looks like, and I think the media has described our pavilion as the coolest pavilion in Expo. And because it reflects the Jamaican persona in all its forms. It's a show of our music, of our art, of cuisine. It's a show of the wonderful geophysical features that characterize a wonderful landscape. But the most important thing is that it demonstrates the spirit, the infectious spirit of the Jamaican people. And I think you feel it as you go into the Jamaican pavilion. And we're excited that Jamaica is a little, what you call, microcosm of the world in terms of ethnicity and races and groups. And our food reflects that too. It's a sort of confluence of the ethnic strains that have woven itself to create the Jamaican mosaic. And we reflect it in a few words: out of many, one people. So a little piece of Jamaica is inserted in everybody that is coming to this expo. You can find yourself by coming to the Jamaican Pavilion.
You head next to Saudi Arabia for the Future Investment Initiative, and then on to London, I believe, for the World Travel Market. How important will international cooperation be as the tourism market recovers?
Absolutely critical. That's what we are. Tourism connects people, connects cultures, connects nations. And so international collaboration is going to be the hallmark of, I think, the post-COVID landscape. That must be a change, a huge game changer in the way that we interact and relate. And I believe that from COVID, we are learning the importance of collaboration and cooperation. And perhaps might very well emerge a new form of relationship that replaces perhaps the intensive competition that have characterized us over time by something we're now calling co-petition. And that's the way in which we collaborate together to achieve objectives that are a win-win for all. COVID has taught us that we're really not that different, and that our objectives are pretty much the same, that we're about lives and livelihood, and that we do better together than apart. And I think that that's a big message. And tourism is a driver of that kind of messaging. And I think that it is appropriate that we could use mechanisms like the Future Investment Initiatives, the World Travel Market, the Expo here in Dubai, and other such global activity to bring people together and to cement that realization that we are indeed one family and that we can coexist and compete rather than compete.
You lead the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Centre, an initiative you founded a couple of years ago now. Can you tell us how important that body has been as the world battles back from the pandemic?
Well, firstly, I want to say that, and I say it with great humility, that the advent of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Centre in the global space, ahead of the most existential disruption that the world potentially has seen, COVID-19, is perhaps prophetic as it was clairvoyant, because it came out of a realization that disruptions are going to happen and are continuing, and that tourism is a resilient but hugely susceptible industry to disruptions. And that susceptibility has reflected itself in the upending of economies that are highly tourism dependent. So there had to be a mechanism or an institutional arrangement to assist in building capacity to deal with these disruptions. First of all, to be able to appreciate them when they come. Then secondly, to track them, to manage when they arrive, to recover quickly, and then to thrive. And so the pandemic came and it gave us the opportunity to test our own preparedness and readiness to deal with global mega disruptions. And of course, the world is found wanting, because as it turned out, we understood very little of it, indeed nothing of it. And it took us a process of iteration to begin to understand, make mistakes, and recover. So the Global Resilience Center gave Jamaica that head start. And I mentioned to you how we were able to develop these protocols very quickly, to get global approval very quickly, to train our people very quickly, to be able to build out a certification with regards to COVID compliance of entities, and to build a corridor and a bubble that enabled the world to have confidence. That's what the Resilience Center does. It creates for people the capacity to do these things and to respond faster to hurricanes, earthquakes, economic disruptions, terrorism, and now cyber crimes and all of these. These are factors that are disruptive and that changes the way life and livelihood is structured in countries. So that's the essence of the center, and I'm very happy that I had the vision to found it and to be able to structure it in the way that it is. And just to mention that the center now is having satellite centers established across the world. We established the first one in Kenya at the Kenyatta University. It's now doing extremely well. We have Bulgaria to come. We're hoping to get that one started in May of next year. We have Malta. We are working with Nepal. We are working also with Bosnia. And we had discussions while I was in Portugal with regards to that possibility, and Seville in Spain. So we're looking at moving this beyond Jamaica, because we want more of the particularly smaller, highly tourism dependent countries that are weakly resourced to have this benefit of building the human capacity to respond to disruptions, because that's how they're going to recover well. I have the example, the painful example of Haiti, that had an earthquake 10 years ago. They still have not recovered. They got another one a few months ago, which is even more devastating. The center is working with Haiti now. We've established a Haiti Recovery Task Force for tourism, on which we have a number of international agencies on. And together we work to create some of the basic recovery facilities and infrastructure that the country will need. So I'm excited about the prospects of, even while I'm here in Dubai, I've had discussions with one or two of the mega entities, because we have to look at what legacy institutions are going to emerge from even this Expo. And resilience and sustainability are the big drivers of the future. And I think the center is going to be well placed to assist the world in that recovery program.